I'd like to welcome back Richard Nisbet for the third time. Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
I hope you heard the first two interviews that Richard gave. They are available. He firstly told us about the campaign for a theatre, an arts centre in Tweeddale. And in the second interview, he told us how that dream became a reality. And now I'm very much looking forward to the final interview, and we'd like to hear from you, Richard. Over the last 16 years, what has the Eastgate Theatre meant to the community, please?
Yeah, thank you for being back again. The Eastgate Theatre and Arts Centre, or is it the Eastgate, or is it the EG? There's so many people now calling it different things. Like, obviously at the beginning it had teething problems, but it did give a glimpse of the great possibilities in the early years. And it went through its odd dark days, and we have to give great thanks, I think, to Joanna Thompson, who took it through a very awkward period. But most of these things have been sorted out, and it's always an evolving project. I think that's the most important thing. It's only 16 years old. Let's face it, we have lots of problems with 16-year-olds, and I'm sure we'll get through some of the problems. And that was recognisable last year when, like, Caroline and Maggie and Richard did amazing work on the funding and the renovations to the Eastgate last year. But there's still lots more to do. It's a blank page or a canvas. So many possibilities. And the years before we got there, there was so many involved. And I mentioned them earlier, or in my earlier interviews, and some have gone. But we did it. And we will do more. Pebbles make a mountain, raindrops make a sea. But that last 16 years, what has it been? If we just call it the Eastgate is a street, but it's like the Northgate, the High Street. But actually, when you talk about the Eastgate, you do tend to think about the Eastgate Theatre. It's a community hub. It's become a hub for the Scottish Borders, for Tweeddale, most of all for Peebles. And it's a place where peoples of all faiths, backgrounds, ethnicity, sexuality, disabilities, people visiting, staying, passing through, of all ages. It's always somewhere for you. It's a place to meet, to have a coffee, a soup, a tea cake, a place to fall over, and there will always be someone to pick you up. And it's also an incredible storage place. When in these early days we're all looking for storage as groups, it's storage of something very, very important. And that is that wonderful piano that Music and Peebles had fundraised for so many decades before. And it is stored at the Eastgate, is there not just for them, but is shared by all. And I think on the disability side, I think when I'm in a wheelchair, if it ever comes to that, or I'm on a stick, I'll know that I'll have access to a toilet and I'll have help. And then obviously, it's the Eastgate, I'll get entertainment. Now, I'll also know when I'm in a care home, the EG team will come and visit me with an outreach programme. They did that at Riverside, where my mum was, Florence, before she died. And they made things, and that was so important for them. So it's not just a hub as a place, but it outreaches as well. And we also saw that when it had to close down last year for the renovations that it didn't just stop working and be closed. It was still there. They were using the High Street Tourist Information Centre as a hub for ticket sales and things that were happening. And that's the other thing for Shakespeare at Traquair. All the ticket sales go through the Eastgate. They're there as a hub and a resource for so many things, a great resource for all thriving groups and visiting groups and organisations that are not necessarily in the arts. It's there as an incredible hub, a hub for the community and further the district. And you think of the things that over those years, the professional and the community shows that we've seen, which have been vast and phenomenal. We've had opera, we've had drama, we've had lectures, we've had folk bands, workshops of all kinds, exhibitions, meetings, we've had classical recitals, big jazz, we've had big classical orchestra, musicals, we've had rock bands, we've had festivals and cooking and cycling and walking. And obviously the Eastgate is also kind of like taken over from what Peebles Arts Festival was, and they do their art programme as a festival. I think it's usually September. And professionals, and most important is the community coming together. But to have so many great professional theatre visiting companies over the years. I think of when Jean Gabriel Baptiste came, was a phenomenal event, but there's been David Hughes, wonderful things in dance. I could go on and on and on and on. And it's lovely to see that our annual Young Farmers concert is held at the Eastgate. As I say, I could keep going on and on and on. Like, it's an amazing, important hub. And I think at this time in particular, when we're in lockdown and we have this virulent virus that's actually killing people, but the Eastgate actually gives life. And I think it gives so much individually to people. It's somewhere, you know, that we can meet in all different senses of form. If we're down or up, it's always a place to meet. They have amazing staff, amazing volunteers, and we also have the Friends of the Eastgate group, which has been there all those 16 years as well. Is a thriving and such an important part of the Eastgate too. And quizzes, all these different fundraisers too. The arts are flourishing, and they're nurturing and they're caring parts of our communities. They're so, so important to our mental, our soulful health. So are the sports clubs and all of those grounds. But to keep us safe and sound, we have to support all of these at this time. And I think we have to make sure we support the EG, the Eastgate Theatre and Arts Centre very much when we come out of this lockdown. Because as I said, we've come through a virulent virus that gives death, but actually the Eastgate has been a river and is such a huge, important part of our community, a hub for everyone, regardless. And I'm guessing that we will probably go into a phase with lots of groups to be looking for extra funds. And I think back to the days of when we were doing Under One Roof. There was several young young ones who gave their pocket money or part of their pocket money to the cause as a donation. And that gave air to our sails when we were trying to find our way to an arts centre. We've got it now, and we need to keep the air there because it gives us air and we need to give it air. And I think that's where I have to finish.
Richard, thank you so much. There's nothing we can add to what you've said. Thank you for your 3 interviews, and I look forward and hope to see you at the Eastgate when it reopens. Hopefully that won't be too long. Thank you.
I very much hope so too. Thank you so much.